The first dropshipping store I ever started was back in 2017. I was just finishing my first year of college and I had made the decision that I never wanted to go back to that place. So I took the refund check that they gave me from my student loans that I didn't end up spending, and I used that as my ads budget. And I spent the first summer after college focused entirely on finding my first winning product. And it was a grind, but by the end of that year of 2017, I had my store generating over $100,000 a month. I had dropped out of college, I got an apartment with my best friends, and I actually felt like I was really an entrepreneur for the first time in my life. But after this, I made a massive mistake. Instead of doubling down and reinvesting the money and building a legit brand, I just started to spend the money. In 2018, I decided to move to Los Angeles and get this super luxurious apartment with the Hollywood sign view. I leased a nice car. I started going shopping. I started going out partying, and I started spending all this money I was making from my dropshipping store. And slowly but surely, my first dropshipping store started to crash down and go just like this until 2 years later, I reached a point in 2020 where I had ran out of money. I was still having this fancy apartment, but I literally couldn't afford it anymore. In fact, I had racked up over $30,000 in credit card debt. And my dropshipping store back then was completely out of the game. It wasn't even making money anymore. Most of the money I was making back then was from doing coaching and doing YouTube videos and little side jobs. But dropshipping, the thing that got me to my first $1 million in sales online, I had neglected and I put in the back seat. And as a result, I paid the price. So in July of 2020, with over $30,000 in credit card debt, I decided I had to pack it up, leave Los Angeles, and go back to sleeping on my mom's couch at 22 years old. This, without a doubt, was one of the hardest moments in my entire life. I had felt like such a failure. I felt like everything that I worked for up in this point basically just went out the window. But when I got back to my mom's house, it ignited that fire in me that I had in that first summer in college. And thankfully, even though I had a bunch of credit card debt, I had a couple $100s in cash in a bank account. And I said, okay, let me go back to my roots and let me build another dropshipping store and let me start testing products again, because this is my last hope. So I followed the exact process that I just explained to you in the last video. I found a couple products that were doing well on Facebook, and I built what's called a hybrid store. It is a branded niche store. You're gonna learn all about that later on, to test these products. And I didn't have a lot of money, so I was being super conservative with the amount of money that I was spending on each product. And my first two products, even though they got a couple sales, they were not profitable and they were continuing to burn a hole in my pocket. After around 3 weeks of doing this, I had less money than I started with, and I had two products that were absolutely making me no money. So I was really starting to get stressed out. But then I found the Sleep Band. I had seen this product on my Facebook feed with like 4 million views in the last 2 months. And when I saw the product, I instantly thought, wow, this is something that I would actually use. Because back at my mom's house, I was sleeping next to my little brother, and this man was snoring so loud every single night. And I said, okay, this product, I could put it over my ears and it's gonna block out the sound of his snoring every night. Let me go ahead and check this thing out for myself. So I clicked on the product page and I instantly discovered a massive opportunity. The people that were running this product and making money with it were doing a terrible job. The video ad that they were running was super low resolution. The website they were running was an unbranded general store with terrible product images. So what I understood from my past years of knowledge was that if I can take this product that is proven to work and just make it a little bit better, I can capitalize off of this opportunity that's right in front of me. Products like this are what I like to call low-hanging fruit. And these are the products that we're going to look for to capitalize on the most. Products that are trending and going viral in the marketplace today, but have areas for us to improve upon. Those are gonna be the products that are the easiest ones to make money on. And I'm gonna teach you how to find those in the next phase. But let's talk about the early stages of launching Sleep Band and how I got it from zero to the first $1,000 day. Instead of spending money that I didn't have to hire a company to create some ad for me, or spending the time to order the product and film my own ad, I just found footage of this product from my competitor from AliExpress and from YouTube, and I chopped it up and made a compilation video that I ran as a video ad. I understood from my past that if I built this ad and I scaled it massively, there were gonna be consequences. But this for me was the quickest and easiest way to just see if the product is actually gonna work and I'm gonna be able to make sales from it. And sure enough, on the first day that I launched the product, I did over $100 a day in sales. But there was a problem. Considering that I was using a stolen video and I was still dropshipping the product from AliExpress, if I scaled this product, the problems that were going to follow were going to kill my business before it could even get off the ground. So around the month of August, I decided to take 2 steps back and begin to optimize everything. I took the tiny amount of profit that I had made so far and ordered the product on Amazon to my mom's house. Then I simply recreated the video ad that I was using, but with my own footage. So I filmed a video with my little brother and my sister. This would allow me to have my own high quality video and protect me from getting banned on Facebook for using other people's content. I then redesigned my website to feel more branded and trustworthy and focus more on sleep-related products. Instead of using AliExpress, I started using a third-party fulfillment company like the one I'm gonna show you later on in this course, and this allowed me to ship my products in just around 12 to 15 days anywhere in the world. And with this foundation, I was finally able to crank the budget on my ads without being scared that everything is gonna come crashing down. And it was in the following week after I set this up in the first week of August that we were hitting our first thousands of dollars a day in sales. In fact, when I made all these changes, my advertising costs got cheaper. All of my ads became more profitable, and my customers even started spending more money on my website. And sure enough, in September, we did over $50,000 in sales. And in October, we had our first $100,000 month. Keep in mind, this was just 3 months after I was at my lowest point financially with only a couple $100s to my name. And this just goes to show that one great product can change your life forever. From October to December, the business was crushing, averaging around $1,000 a day in profit. And finally, I felt like I was back on my feet. We ended that year on a massive high note, hitting numbers as high as $17,000 in a single day in the month of December. And then in the month of January, we did $178,000 in sales with over a 30% profit margin. I paid off all my debt. I moved to my own apartment in Miami. A couple months later, I was able to buy my mom her dream truck. This business is what saved me and got me out of the financial gutter. So I'm telling you, let my story be a testament that this business model actually works. Don't let anybody tell you that dropshipping is dead or it doesn't work. I am a shining example of what's possible with this business model. I stand by it till the end of time because it saved my life, not only once, but twice. In the following year of 2021, we did over $1.5 million in sales, with a good percentage of that being profit. In this year, I launched a pro version of my product, which was essentially just a slightly different design. I created more and more custom video ads, and I started branching out to different ad platforms like Google, TikTok, and Snapchat. And more than anything, I was constantly trying to make small improvements every single day. I like to call this the compound effect. And I would directly attribute this to all of my success that I have today. The reason why I've been able to make millions of dollars on the internet is because I understand this, and I need you to understand it as well. The small daily actions that you do every single day are going to dictate the man that you become in the future. If every single day you're researching products, you're following the process and building out product launches, and you're testing those products and analyzing your data, what do you think is going to happen within a 6-month time span? You are going to develop a masterful skill set in the art of launching and scaling a product. Alternatively, if you spend the next 6 months waking up late every day, scrolling TikTok all day, watching videos about how dropshipping is dead, or even watching motivational videos about dropshipping just to get your dopamine rush, and don't actually take the little actions to optimize your business every day, well, you'll see what happens for yourself. And I don't recommend that strategy. So going into 2022, we had made over $1.5 million in sales on this business. And it was around this time that I started going hard on my YouTube channel. Maybe some of you guys have seen me on YouTube, but if you haven't, YouTube is the thing that I love the most. It's a thing that I've been doing ever since I was 12 years old. And I was documenting the entire journey of building this dropshipping store on my channel. You can actually go back to the first month that I ever launched this store, and you can see videos of me showing my phone, showing that I made my first $10,000 in profit. I documented the whole entire journey, and from that, my channel caught a huge wave. And I was having so much fun with the channel that I wanted to sell this store to somebody who was actually going to appreciate it and go hard on it, just like I did back in the beginning. So I worked with a broker who gave me a valuation of the business that I was happy with, and then he went out and marketed it to a few potential buyers within his contact list. And I wish I could say that right after that, I sold the business and then I went on vacation and just enjoyed the money. But it actually took 3 months to even hear back from any type of buyers or get on any type of meetings. In April of 2022, I finally started getting on meetings with potential buyers, and there were 2 guys who were a complete flop. They just wasted my time. But there was one guy who was actually super interested and ready to purchase that business in the month of April. And I kind of started to mentally check out of the business because I assumed, well, we have a buyer, the deal is about to be done. I don't really need to work on it that much anymore. So in the month of April, I just pulled back and I kept going harder and harder on YouTube while we were finalizing this deal. But this ended up being one of the most stressful times in my entire life because the business was starting to head in a downward spiral because I stopped working on it and doing the day-to-day tasks. It almost reminded me of what happened back in 2018. And I didn't hear back from this guy in the month of May. I didn't hear back from him in the month of June. But in the month of July, my broker randomly called me while I was on a vacation in New York, and he said, "Your buyer is ready to close this week. Are you ready?" And literally just a couple days later, after signing the agreements, I got an escrow notification to my Gmail account, and that wire hit my account. And funny enough, July was the month that I started all this just 2 years prior. July was the month that I moved back to my mom's couch, literally crying myself to sleep every single night because I have $30,000 in debt and I was supposed to be this big, successful businessman. And just 2 years later, because of this one product that I found, I had finally reached a level that I was happy with. Just 2 years later, I had made it to this level. That's my story. And my goal is by the end of you going through this program, you'll be able to do exactly the same thing in your life. And it all starts with finding the right